Hello everyone, I am Rami Musa. I'm the Solution Architect with Aero ECS. I'm delighted to have with me today Jeff Hill, the Technical Channel Manager with Riverbed, covering the topic of Digital Experience Management. Hello Jeff.
Hey Rami, good to see you.
Good to see you too. So Jeff, let's get to the topic and understanding more what are the challenges that the enterprise IT is facing today with the digital transformation is happening almost in every single vertical.
There's definitely a lot of change happening in the IT space right now, and the introduction of things like cloud and software as a service have made the landscape a lot more difficult to manage for the internal IT team. Kind of a picture of the IT as it used to be was, a corporate data center with some branch offices around it, dedicated lines connecting them all. And now they're kind of having to deal with a very quickly shifting landscape with expectations that have kind of exceeded their capacity in a lot of ways. And so the ability to be able to manage an entire environment, know what's going on, and to be able to have visibility at all the different points in the journey, starting with the end user device, because that's where things start. I mean, if the end user device or the end user experience isn't good, they're going to complain. And no matter what happens farther down the chain within the network and the back end server environment, if those all read fine and the end user isn't having good experience, the IT is going to hear about it. So monitoring end to end from that standpoint and having that visibility at various points allows us to help our customers give their customers the experience they want.
Great. So if I would say if you can give us like more information about the Riverbed solutions that can maximize the digital performance through their visibility and performance suite.
Yeah, I mentioned the end user device, and that's kind of where things start for us. And there's a product called Steel Central Eternity. Eternity places an agent out on the laptops and desktops and virtual desktops of the end users in the corporate space. And it also works with mobile devices, so both Android and Apple phones as they're accessing mobile applications or mobile websites. And that gives an opportunity to show from the time that they click on something to the time that it actually renders on the screen, it kind of sets us virtual stopwatch. And the really interesting part about that is it gives you a picture of the entire environment. So every click and every business activity across every device on the entire enterprise. And it puts that into a dashboard so that you can kind of tease out what's going on in the environment. So looking at issues and finding out what's normal for that space. So if it's a user in Atlanta accessing things in AWS, what is normal for Atlanta may not be normal for Boston. But being able to see if there's a problem, between Boston and AWS, but Atlanta's running fine, now we know kind of where to start looking, and then we can kind of trace that route using other tool sets, whether those are our network monitoring tools, or whether that's app internals, which works on the back end in the server space to see if there's a problem within the queries or the methods. So it's a good place to start with Eternity, but we also have a full suite of tools looking at packets and flows and server pieces and infrastructure, up-down sort of things, so that you have an end-to-end view of what's going on.
Great. So it looks like the end user experience management is going to be the focus when it comes to digital experience management. So if you can tell us a little bit about what Riverbed or how Riverbed differentiates themselves when it comes to Eternity solutions?
Sure. And there's a lot of tools out there that'll give you kind of a device inventory of what's going on out there, or maybe even checking CPU or memory. But we're going beyond that and looking into actual business activities within an application. Like for example, in email. From the time I click on my inbox till the time that the email comes up, how long does that take? Or doing a query into SharePoint, or looking into any of the applications, the business critical applications that the users are doing. And you can actually create custom activities. So an activity, again, is kind of a discrete thing, so that from the time the user initiates the action till the time that the infrastructure returns a result. And that way you're able to kind of get a really good feel for what the health of the overall environment is. And it allows them to be proactive. So in the event that you're seeing, so again, we've kind of established what normal is for that set of users. And if you're seeing things start to creep up above that, you can set alerting and bring in the right people to figure out what's going on really before the phone starts ringing. And that's the best time for IT to deal with a problem. Keeps their SLAs intact and allows them to deliver a good customer experience.
And how is that going to benefit the line of business managers, applications managers?
Sure. There's a couple different ways. One of which is really kind of, again, what I talked about as far as that mean time to resolution, from the time that a problem begins to the time that they can come up with a solution and fix it. If you can shorten that time frame, your workers are being more productive. We have one medical customer who, by introducing Eternity into their environment, was able to take the mean time to resolution for their core medical application down by 95%.
Perfect.
So that's a time where radiologists and doctors and nurses and other folks aren't waiting for IT to get back to them with their response, but they're going back to providing service to their patients. So that's really important and a very tangible benefit. The other place that really comes in handy and is really nice for IT to have is when there's changes or updates or migrations within the environment. We can do kind of a snapshot of it, what's happening before the change and kind of what is normal for that. And then you make a migration change, whether it's from physical desktops to VDI or from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And now we can show what is those response times after that change. So, for example, our partners can use this as a tool in their professional services environment. So if they're doing that Windows 10 migration, they can sit down with the customer at the end of the migration, or maybe mid-tier in the migration, and say, here's the benefit you've gotten from that migration, or here's where things haven't improved as much as we want. But at least it's a very tangible, as opposed to users going, it feels slow, it feels faster, whatever. This is a very concrete report that we can provide and a dashboard that can be developed in order to show the benefit of that change.
I believe you can translate that to a dollar amount as well.
Definitely.
In a certain way, right?
Yes, we can take basically the time, we've all seen this kind of spinning thing on the in Windows while we're waiting for something to happen. We can measure that time, and then if you can bring in like a metric as far as what the cost of that individual is, and you put that time across maybe a month or a quarter, you can actually tangibly show the cost of slow performance to the business.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you, everyone. And please feel free to reach out to any of our Riverbed or Aero account management if you need any further information about the digital experience management solution. Thank you.